10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Harper Auto Square. WBIR 10 News starts now.
Chances of them catching something that's preventable from these vaccines increases.
Knox County Health Department is urging parents to make sure their kids are up to date on vaccines before school starts. Health officials say all students entering kindergarten, preschool, or 7th grade, or those entering a Tennessee school for the first time should receive state-required vaccines.
10 News reporter Stephanie Haynes spoke with doctors today who say if your child needs a vaccine, it's time to schedule that trip to the doctor. Stephanie?
Yes, Robin and John, doctors say schedule a time to come in if you haven't. It's slower in the summer, but you can also get your children vaccinated at the health department, and they'll let you know what your child needs. As a dad, Joe Shookman is always looking out for his little guys.
Yeah.
So as his 3-year-old goes off to preschool this fall, he's made sure he's up to date on his vaccinations.
I want him to be immune to the measles, mumps, rubella, and other preventable diseases.
Tennessee schools follow vaccination guidelines from the CDC. That means immunizations for measles, polio, chickenpox, and a few more. Folks in the medical field say it's best to call your child's doctor.
Because they may be up to date and you just don't realize it, or they may not be. So it's as simple as a phone call to the nurse. Also make sure that you have that sheet of paper. The key is the record, because the school is going to be looking for that immunization record.
Jennifer Nash is a physician's assistant with Summit Medical Group and says vaccinations are important because of exposure.
The chances of them catching something that's preventable from these vaccines increases.
She says some vaccinations also require that a doctor examine your child in a checkup, and that's part of the certificate that schools need to see. Knox County Schools has a 95.9% vaccination rate, according to a state report from the 2017-2018 school year. To parents like Shookman, that's encouraging, even after a measles outbreak this year in several states.
All the same, they get their vaccination schedule, so I'm not terribly concerned about it.
Now, kids with medical exemptions must provide the school with documentation from their medical provider. Religious exemptions require a signed statement by the parent that the vaccination conflicts with their religious tenets or practices. Robin and John.
Stephanie, thank you. School does start this month for hundreds of students. Students in Alcoa City Schools return July 24th. Oak Ridge students head back to class July 29th. In Blount County, students return August 1st. And the first day for students in Knox County is August 5th.
New tonight, authorities are searching for an escaped inmate who ran away from the Knox County courthouse. The sheriff's office says 2 bailiffs failed to supervise Billy Hance, along with 5 other inmates, while moving them back to jail. Deputies say Hance ran out of the courthouse with his handcuffs still on. The supervising officer didn't know Hance had left. He was in custody for aggravated assault, kidnapping, and other charges. If you see him, contact the Knox County Emergency Communications Center.
Federal leaders designated 31 Tennessee counties as primary natural disaster areas. Most of those counties are in East Tennessee, and this comes after flooding that happened back in February. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says farmers in these areas affected by the flooding may be eligible for emergency loans. The deadline to apply is February 25th of 2020, and you can find more information at WBIR.com.
Let's turn to your forecast now. We saw heat in the 90s today, and that is going to continue even tomorrow.
Todd, typically we think when the sun goes down, it's going to cool down a lot. Not so in the middle of summer.
Yeah, not so in the middle of summer. It's typical for those temperatures to still be in the 80s even at this hour, and we're 80 degrees right now in Knoxville. Look at the highs today. Yeah, 92 in Knoxville, 94 in Nashville. Memphis, a hot 95 degrees, Tupelo 96. Look at Charlotte, North Carolina, 96 degrees. Those were today's actual high temperatures. Tomorrow, watch North Carolina. They get a little bit of a break. A little bit of a cool air wedge effect, cool air damming with northeast winds, high pressure sliding to our north and east. That's going to give them a little cool down. We're going to be back up around 92 in Knoxville, 93 in Nashville. Not quite as hot, but 91 in Memphis. Another hot day tomorrow. Here's your Tuesday morning forecast. Chance for some patchy fog, especially near the rivers, the lakes, and some of the lower valley areas. 71 in the morning at 6 a.m. 8 a.m. partly cloudy, 74, and mostly sunny. 10 a.m. right back up near 80 degrees. Right now, a beautiful clear sky, and it should stay that way before the fog in the morning. Again, currently 80 degrees, feels like 83 outside. At least we have a little bit of a northeast wind down the valley. Felt pretty good this evening, at least with those warm temperatures around. Coming up, we're talking tropics, maybe in the Gulf. We'll look at that just ahead. John and Robin.
Todd, thank you.
Okay.
We're just really going to miss all of our customers that have supported us over the years. They're like family.
A Fountain City staple is closing its doors for good next month. The Fountain City Diner sits at the intersection of Tazewell Pike and Jacksboro Pike. It's a place some locals go to eat 3 meals a day. Well, the diner's owners tell 10 News reporter Shannon Smith they can't afford a big rent increase and are ready to move on to the next chapter. That chapter doesn't mean
It does not, Robin. Unfortunately, they're not going to reopen, and Dennis and Penny Wagner won't own another restaurant. They're not the only business feeling the financial struggle of operating in Knoxville.
10 years ago, Fountain City Diner started serving top-notch homemade meals to countless customers.
We thought to ourselves, what does the community need at that time? And we thought this would be the best fit.
Locals swear by their onion rings and pies.
One of our employees gave him a pie in the face for his birthday. I enjoyed that.
It's memories like that owners Dennis and Penny Wagner will miss the most when they close the restaurant in August. They weren't ready to close, but a 56% increase on their rent is more than they can handle.
We are mom and pops, and we're not, making a fortune here, and close to 60 to 70% increase is pretty much a recipe for disaster financially.
They're right off Broadway, an area of town where commercial rent is going up fast, around an 18% increase in the last 5 years.
The economy is exploding. Landlords are taking advantage of the situation of growth in both the retail market and the value of land and buildings.
Commercial real estate specialist Justin Kazana says that can make or break mom and pop shops like Fountain City Diner.
A lot of businesses run on extremely small margins, so a significant rent increase can put them into the red.
This problem isn't specific to Fountain City. It's getting more expensive to open a business across Knoxville and the state.
We're seeing values go up 20 and 30% over just 3 or 4 years ago.
Kazana says small businesses need to find their niche in less crowded areas to really thrive as the city grows.
Fountain City Diner will close toward the end of August. They don't blame their landlord for the closing. They understand how business works. Just sad to see it go too soon. We did reach out to the landlord tonight. So far, have not heard back. Robin, John.
All right. Shannon, thank you.
President Donald Trump's new proposed tariffs on Chinese imports could mean a Bible shortage. Religious publishers say more than half of worldwide Bible production takes place in China. Critics of a proposed tariff say it would make the Bible more expensive. They also say it would hurt the efforts of Christian organizations that give away Bibles as part of their ministry.
With the passage of a new law this year, online sports gambling is now legal in Tennessee. The sponsor of that bill says the state could rake in millions in tax dollars, but there are some rules. You do have to be 21 or older, can only bet online using approved vendors, and you can only bet on the end result of college sports.
You can't bet on how many yards an individual's going to throw for or run, or how many catches that you can for professional sports.
Now, under the law, the state approves vendors who are taxed at 20%. That money goes mostly to the state's education fund. It's going to take a while to get the vendors approved. Staples says it could be as early as November, but it's more likely to be January.
People in South Knoxville got the chance to hear from the 6 Knoxville mayoral candidates tonight. Imes Nature Center hosted that meet and greet. People had a chance to hear the candidates' vision for the future of Knoxville and also got to talk one-on-one with those candidates. Here's what they told us about the expansion of the urban wilderness.
It's something that I think that we need to find a better marketing opportunities or better ways to market it.
Making it a healthy place for all of Knoxvillians and accessible, and also an economic engine.
I'm absolutely in favor for the expansion. Also, if we think about creative ways to include all communities.
I do believe if we were to ask this community, they would also want that expanded and used and marketed to other people to bring to our city.
We are working to recruit talent, and there's amenities like trails, parks, like the urban wilderness. This is what people are looking for.
I would like to expand it, but also expand the James White Parkway to try to take away a little bit of the traffic off of Chapman Highway.
The primary election for Knoxville mayor is August 27th. The regular election is November 5th.
A massive 50-acre water park called Soaky Mountain is coming to Sevierville. The park will be located across the street from Wilderness at the Smokies. The park will have slides, a 35,000 square foot wave pool, a winding wave river, and a kid-friendly activity pool.
It's within our tourist development zone, which will give us actually an added tax bonus for them being there. So we couldn't be more excited.
No plans for the project still need to be approved. The groundbreaking set for August 6th.
There is